it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle. But you know you're capable of more, and you need a push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn how to find your purpose and successfully follow through. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Live with your purpose.
I'm going to substitute mission for purpose. Your purpose is what you are here for. Your purpose is what do you wake up excited to do. Your purpose is what's the impact that you want to have on the world. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to create? Your purpose is the thing that keeps you going when you want to quit, when you want to give up, when you feel like it's not happening fast enough, when your goals aren't enough to keep you going. What is the thing that keeps you going? It's your purpose. To feel like what you are doing today matters, is meaningful, is going to have an impact. And people have asked me, somebody asked me yesterday, I was doing an IG Live, and somebody asked me, how do you keep going? You're one of the most consistent people I've ever seen in my life. How do you keep going? How do you keep making videos? Well, I feel like it matters. I'm living my purpose. I don't think what I'm doing is that unique, that special. I think everybody can do it. It's within reach for everybody to do it. The problem is most people are just chasing opportunity and just trying to make a quick buck. And making money is very important. It is very important. It's just not number one. Number one is your purpose. If you woke up and felt like today mattered, that it was going to mean something to somebody, you're going to show up in a totally different way. You're going to show up with more energy. It's going to be easier to say yes. I was making videos for years with getting almost no views, 0 comments. Why? Because I felt like what I was doing mattered. That if 100 people saw my video, that's 100 people that saw my video. Where if you're just chasing the end goal, if you're just chasing, oh, I need to have 1 million subscribers, or I need to have X in my bank account, you stop. You will quit because it gets too hard. Where if you actually felt like, I'm going to show up today and I'm going to do something that matters and it's going to change at least one person's life. There are some days when you feel like you can change the world, right? There are some days when you feel like I can do anything. I can change the world. I'm going to X, right? There are some days when you actually feel that and it's amazing. And there are some days where that feels too big and too scary and your purpose feels too overwhelming. And it should be aspirational. It should be beyond your reach. It should not be something that just gets solved in your lifetime. It's something that you want to swim forever, to climb forever, to keep chasing down. So there are some days where it feels too big. And on those days, don't stress about it being too big. Worry about, hey, I'm just going to help one person. For me, when I'm stressing out about making content, making videos, speaking on stage, whatever else I'm doing, some days like, I'm going to change the world today. And other days is, I hope I can reach a few people with the video. This is a Tuesday for me. I record videos on Tuesday. Every Tuesday I make content. It's in my calendar. And it's always the most stressful day for me in my week because I always want to make the best that I can. I want today's videos to be the best that I can with what I've got because I want to have an impact. I want hopefully this video and the way that I say it, and just hope that this is the one that finally resonates with at least one person. The hope isn't I need this video to go get 1 million views or I'm a failure. The hope is that for you, maybe you're the one today, that the way that I say it hits you in the right spot, that pushes you towards some kind of action, to take that thing that's been sitting inside your heart, that you've been sitting on for a long time, that you know you want to do, and get the permission, get the courage to actually go off and do the thing. That's what purpose does for you. Purpose demands that you grow into a better version of yourself because you won't do it just for yourself. If your goals are just purely selfish, if it's just to have money in your bank account or buy a certain car or whatever, the goals just for yourself will not sustain you through the long stretches of bad times that it takes to go off and actually build something meaningful. The thing that sustains you is feeling like this is of greater service to other people than just me. Okay, so everybody has a purpose. The purpose is the thing that gets you going. The purpose is the thing that keeps you motivated. The purpose is the thing that makes you want to do something today. How do you find it? Well, finding it doesn't have to be a difficult process. I wrote about it in Built to Serve. I believe humans are built to serve, and finding your purpose comes from I call it your why, and your why comes from your pain. Your purpose comes from your pain. Your purpose is not something that changes next year or the year after or the year after. It's not what's my purpose for this year. That's a decent enough conversation, even figuring that out. If you wanted to go down that path, what's my purpose for the year? It's already more self-awareness than what 99% of the world has, but that's still not your life's purpose. Your purpose is the thing that at 120 years old, you're still obsessed about. My purpose isn't to grow my YouTube channel. I don't know if I'll be doing YouTube at 120 years old. That's too far away for me to think about. My purpose is to try to solve the world's biggest problem, which is that people don't believe in themselves enough. And when I'm 120 years old, that will still be there, and I will still be doing whatever the modern technology is, right? If it's YouTube, amazing. If it's VR, something totally different, I'll be doing that because I want to solve that problem. That's what I wake up every day trying to do. Why? Well, because the purpose comes from my pain, because what I struggled the most with was me. Oh, Nina brought some coffee. We love you, Nina. Look at the steam. Look at the steam.
I bought this guy coffee.
And you bought the homeless guy coffee?
He said it's his birthday.
It's his birthday? Yeah. Look at Nina. Yeah. So special. See, she's spreading her purpose. Love it. My purpose came from my pain. I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I felt the lowest as a human. I felt worthless. I quit on my business partner. I thought it was never going to work out. I just felt incredible pain. I felt lonely, isolated, worthless. And I did quit on my business partner. And then luckily I came back the next day and just decided I can't quit on this yet. And I'm still making all of this content, all of my material. How many years later? Let's see, that was when I was 19, 20. I'm 41 now. So 20 plus years later, still helping, still making content, still going. And it's going to be another 80 years of doing this, because there are so many people, millions of people who are 19-year-old Evan right now struggling with the same thing. Whatever you struggled with, think about in your life that the deepest, most traumatic experience where you felt worthless as a human being, the most painful emotionally moment that you had to go through. And you barely made it. You know, you didn't triumph your way through it. You struggled, but you made it. And now you're here. And you're still not where you want to be, but you're way further ahead than you used to be, right? You, right now, could go back to you from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and give some great advice. That's your purpose. To know that there are millions of people right now who are currently the person you used to be, and they may not make it through. They may not make it through like you did. You had the strength, you had the courage, you had the strategies, you found a way, and you made it through. And they may not. And they need you. They need your voice. They need your hope. They need your inspiration. They need your message. They need you in a way that they won't listen to me. They won't listen to Tom Bilyeu or Tony Robbins. They won't listen because they don't connect to us, but they will connect to you because you are like them. So it doesn't have to take you years to figure out your purpose. You don't have to go to a retreat. You don't have to go meditate on a mountain. You don't have to hire a fancy business coach. You don't have to do any of that. You already know it. You go back to the most painful moment in your life where you felt worthless as a human being, and then just deeply connect to that and feel and know that there are many people out there right now who are that right now, and they have no hope and no guidance and no leadership and no wisdom, and they feel stuck, and they feel alone, they feel afraid, they feel ashamed, they're not reaching out, they're not asking for help, and they're going and they're searching, they're going to YouTube, they're going to YouTube, they're going to YouTube, they're going to YouTube. How many times do I have to say that? They're going to Google, they're going to Twitter, they're going to Facebook, they're searching for help, for answers. You could be the one that shows up. And if you actually felt that on some days you could change the world, and on some days you could change one person's life. If you actually felt that, you will show up completely differently. Finding your purpose and living it is the thing that gives you the motivation, the strength, the confidence to show up one more day and keep going.
Rule number 2, believe.
95% of the world wakes up and drives to a job that they hate. I believe that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, that you are a genius, you are the best. the best at something. Most people either one, have no idea what that thing is, or two, they have found it, but they don't have the courage or belief to go chase it down. Either way, the path is through. You need to find the thing that you are a genius at, that you have Michael Jordan level talent at, and live it every single day if you want to live your life instead of regret your life. This is why I do what I do. I want people to believe in themselves more. I look at people and I see this person who hates their life, and then there's so much talent. You have so much talent. You want to serve, you want to help others, you want to make an impact, you want to make a difference. Everybody does. It's a human condition. And you know you're capable of more than what you're doing right now. You know it. And this is what I want to help bring out in people. It's why I make the videos that I do and write the books and do my speaking, all of it. Because I want to pull that out. I want you to suck on whatever energy that I can give you so that you then realize, maybe I am a genius. Maybe I do have great ideas. Maybe what I have could actually change the world. Maybe I need to stop doing the thing that I'm doing. Maybe there is some hope, right? That's what I want to try to inject into people. And so I have an 8-step process that I'll take you through super quick, that if you are struggling with belief, if you are struggling thinking that, I don't know if I'm a genius at something, this process will help you. It'll help you believe in your big ideas. It'll help you believe in your capabilities, and it'll help you go off and actually make an impact. Let's dive in. Number one is find your purpose. You got to find out what the thing is that you're here to do, right? I have my who, why, how process. Figure out what your one word is, your most important core value. 2, your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggled the most with is the thing that you want to help other people through. Whatever you struggled the most with, the worst moment in your life, whatever you remember that is, your purpose for life will be helping other people who are currently going through that pain. And then 3, the how you got out of it, how you got through it, will be a recipe to teach other people. You'll be able to, as you take your steps on the staircase up, lift other people up to join you on that step. So step number 1 in believing in yourself more is figuring out what is your purpose. Step number 2 is going from idea to action. You have great ideas. You have great ideas. The problem is you judge your ideas. You come up with a great idea in the shower, and then you spend the rest of the day thinking about it, researching, planning it, judging it, saying, I can't do that, or how's that going to work? And then you wake up tomorrow a different person. The faster you go from idea to action will dictate your entire future. It'll change the entire trajectory of your life. The faster you go from idea to action. Stop judging your ideas. You get an idea, you go for it. You do it. The 2% difference. Stop planning to get to 100% and just take action on the first 2%. You'll never figure out the whole plan by sitting on your couch. You won't. You figure it out by doing. Idea to action. Train yourself. You get an idea, you do something about it. Because your ideas list is never going to get any shorter. It's growing every day. You're a genius. You come with great ideas. But that's not enough. You got to do something about them. And so immediate action. You get an idea, boom, the 2% difference. What's one thing that you can do that'll take you 2% of the way to making some momentum on this idea? The smallest, simplest, dumbest, stupidest thing that you can do right now, today, on your idea. Idea to action. Step 3 is model success. Have people around you who inspire you, who lift you up, who show you that it's possible. I love my YouTube channel for myself. I need it for me. I surround myself with Steve Jobs and Kanye and Oprah and all these people. For me, for myself, I want it. I want to be around successful people because what it does, it rubs off on you. It rubs off. It's like they're sprinkling little Steve Jobs pixie dust on you. It rubs off. It shows you 2 things. One, that it's possible because all of your heroes, they started with less than what you currently have right now. You feel like it's overwhelming and impossible in your environment and it's never going to happen. Whoever you look up to, whoever your heroes are, they had it worse than you have it right now. They struggled through worse than what you're struggling through right now. And so if they could do it, you can too. There's no excuse. If you're surrounded by people who just tell you, oh, take it easy, take it slow. Yeah, of course you can't do it because you were born at X or because you come from this community. Of course, yeah, you're never gonna make it, right? Screw the president, screw the system, right? Most people, that's how they live. But other people, they've won. They've done it despite coming from worse circumstances than you. You have no excuse. And so when you surround yourself with those people who are often winning, who look like you, came from the same background as you, struggle with the same things as you, or worse, it's motivating. It gives you hope that it's possible. You need to be around success. You need to model it. And it gives you the hope, and it also gives you strategies. Bill Gates saved my company. I've never met him yet, but what he did gave me hope that what I wanted to do was possible with my software company. And how he got through was a recipe for me. I modeled how he got through it, and that started to take my company forward. So step 3 in believe in yourself more is you need to model success. Step 4 is create an environment of excellence. An environment of excellence. What in your environment makes you feel excellence? It starts with you, how you carry yourself. I love wearing this, right? Like I wear this not just for the camera, I like it. Like I feel like Batman putting on my outfit, putting on my superhero cape, right? When I wear this, how do you want to express yourself? From the clothes you wear, from your haircuts, from the jewelry you put on, how are you going to express yourself that is excellent? That reminds you of who you are and what you're capable of. Next, you go out to your physical environment. So these people are all behind me for a reason. I walk into this office and without even having to think about it, I've got these people staring me down, reminding me to be excellent, to go chase down my dreams, right? What's on your cell phone background? What's on your computer background, right? These are things that you set up once in your environment and then it triggers you. I call them play bigger triggers. They're there for you every single day to remind you, right? If I'm feeling low, if I feel like I don't believe in myself enough, I got my parents right here telling me, hey Evan, you're really Carmichael, believe in yourself more. If I'm struggling with my vision, I got Steve Jobs staring me down right here, right? This is my computer, I'm looking here, I got this guy eyes on me, right? Now, maybe that's too creepy for you, scary for you, awesome. Design for yourself, design for your excellence. What makes you feel bold and want to come alive, and have that as a daily part of your routine. Step number 5 is schedule for success. So I just mentioned routines. What is your routine? What are you doing on a daily basis? Show me how the actions that you're doing, what's in your calendar, will help you accomplish your goals, right? Your actions have to map to your ambitions. You say you want this, amazing. I love it, I'm pumped. Now show me in your calendar where you're gonna do it. You say you want to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, amazing. You say you want to sell 1 million books, amazing. You say you want to have $1 million business, amazing. Show me in your calendar where are you spending your time on making videos, on writing books, on building your business. Like it has to be in your calendar. Most people, they don't have it in their calendar. And if you don't have it in your calendar, it's never going to get done. And not just business, life success. You want to be a successful husband, father, mother, daughter, wife, anything. Where's that time? Put it in your calendar. Right? Show me your calendar. Your calendar is your habits, and your habits will dictate your success. And so what you do on a weekly basis in your calendar, and also how you start your day every day. Most people wake up like an accident. Most people wake up, they hit the snooze button, which already you're telling yourself that you're the kind of person who doesn't follow through on your goals, and you start responding to other people's emergencies. No, start your day with intention. You could have had the greatest day of all time yesterday, and you wake up today and you're starting over. So what makes you come alive? And then put that into your morning routine with intention every day so you stop waking up like an accident. You do that, you're gonna believe in yourself more. Step number 6 to believe in yourself more is manufacturing self-confidence. Manufacture self-confidence. You do difficult things. You need to teach yourself that you do difficult things. That when something is hard, you want to do it. You love hard things. That when your heart's beating and you're scared, you're nervous, that's a sign you have to go do that thing. Self-confidence, self-love, self-respect comes from following through on the things you say you're going to do. But it doesn't count until it's difficult. Waking up at X in the morning, right? You want to wake up at 6 in the morning? Great. When it's easy, it doesn't count. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel bad. It's easy. It's when it's hard. It's when it's hard, right? If you ran a race against 3-year-olds, right, and you won, you might post about it, say, yeah, I won this race. But inside, you know it's a fake. You know it's a fake win. It doesn't count. But if you get up and run against Usain Bolt, he's going to destroy you. But you can feel good that you tried, right? Are you proud of your effort? You want to manufacture self-confidence? You want more belief? Are you proud of yourself today? And it's not something that anybody else can give you. Should I be proud of myself? I don't know. Did I do enough reps? I don't know. Did I write enough words for my book? I don't know. Are you proud of yourself? I can tell you when I broke my neck on my tour and I was sitting at the front for 3.5 hours in massive pain delivering my presentation, I was proud of myself. Even though the quality went down. Right? I was better when I was being able to walk around and not have so much pain. I felt like my presentation delivery was better, but I was more proud of myself for doing it when it was hard. That's how you manufacture self-confidence. That's how you manufacture self-belief. It's doing it when it's hard. It does not count until it's hard, and that you do difficult things. Step number 7 to believe in yourself more is beating negative judgment. If you're doing anything that's different, anything that's outside the norm, guess what? There's a lot of people who love the norm. There's a lot of people who will say, hey, you suck, like stop doing this. They want to protect the status quo, because if you go off and win, it makes them look bad. It makes them feel bad about themselves, right? You winning makes them feel bad about themselves. And so you're going to have a lot of people who all they focus on is tearing other people down. You may even have your parents who are giving you advice out of love, but your parents are pilgrims. You were growing up in a different era than they did. If you're 20 years old right now, your parents at 20 years old, the world is different. The amount of things that a 20-year-old can do right now to build a business, to have success, to make a meaningful impact on the world is crazy compared to what was available when your parents were 20 years old. They don't understand the world that you live in. And so their advice is out of love, but they just don't understand what's possible. And so you get advice that's out of love, that's still negative. You'll see it as negative. And you'll also get hate. You'll get people who watch your videos or read your book and say, you suck. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But what's the alternative? To never ruffle any feathers, to never do anything bold or big or great, to live your entire life in fear of being rejected, in fear of people laughing at you. And so you play small your whole life, and then you're 95, you look back and say, I never did anything great. I knew I was capable, I never did it. You need to learn to attack judgment. You attack it. If you're afraid of even the possibility of judgment, then you do it. That's why I painted my nails a while back, because I was afraid of people judging me for having my nails painted. So then I had to do it. You have to do it. Just to beat it, just to eat the judgment. You need to train yourself, because if you want to go off and do some amazing big thing, but you can't do something as simple as painting your nails, you've lost. You're so worried about other people's opinions that you'll play small forever. And so the next time you feel yourself worried about somebody else's opinion, then you have to go off and do that thing. Now, within your code of ethics, right? Don't go beat somebody up. Don't go, mock somebody. Don't do something against your values. But most of the things that you want to do, it's for you. It's not against somebody else. You want to do it for you, and you're afraid of what the reaction is going to be. That's the fear that you need to quash. And as soon as you catch it, you need to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat that negative judgment. I'm going to feel that fear, and I'm going to do it anyway. And then step number 8 to getting more belief is to make an impact. We want to make an impact. Making money is important. It has to be. Money has to be in your top 5. It's just not number 1. Money's not number 1. It's not number 100 on your list either. It's got to be in your top 5. But something comes ahead of it, and that's the impact that you want to have. What is the impact? How are you going to do it? And then start feeling it, start seeing it, start appreciating it. For me, I'm just here in my office talking to the camera. It's me and the camera alone in a room, but it's going out and being broadcast, and you're watching it right now, and I appreciate that. And I remind myself of the work that I do every day matters. It's touching people, and maybe that's just one person. Maybe you helped one person today, and you feel the impact of that. Or maybe it's 100 or 1,000 or 100,000, however many, right? Your impact will continue to grow with time, especially entrepreneurs. We want to have a big impact, not just one person at a time. But remembering that you're here to do something good, and that your work matters. If you woke up every day and felt like the work that you do matters to somebody, it's having an impact on somebody, it's serving other people, because humans are built to serve. And if you felt like that every single day, man, your life would be dramatically different. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that, if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to wake up and look forward to the day that is ahead. Dramatically improve the chance of you getting your deal. They'll look over your proposal. They will give you feedback, suggestions, how to tweak your proposal. If you've never done it before, and I'm going through this process right now, we need to stop using weak language and pay attention to the words that you're speaking to others and to yourself.
Rule number 3, match your action to your mission.
The number 1 biggest thing that you are missing is momentum. You're a genius. You've got Michael Jordan level talent. You are the best in the world at something. But until you match your effort to your capabilities, your dreams will never happen. So yesterday I had a young preacher reach out to me on Instagram. Young, like early teenager, reach out to me on Instagram and say, hey Evan, I'm a preacher. I'm trying to get my career going. I want to make YouTube videos. I want to spread a message. Can you watch my video and give me some feedback? And first off, I love young entrepreneurs who are going after it, who are not just sitting there making excuses as to why they can't because they don't come from the family, they don't have the right education, they don't have the right gear to make a video. And here's this guy, just takes out his phone against a simple background, poor lighting, it doesn't matter, right? Just takes out his phone, starts recording the video, and he's pretty good, right? For a kid who's 14, 15, 16 years old, he's pretty good. He's way better than I was. He's way better than I was when I started making videos at, I don't know when I started making videos, 10 years ago. How old am I now? 39, 29. He's better at 14, 15, 16 than I was at 29. That's amazing. I love it. But here's the thing. He was only making a video once a week. And so I said, I love it, man. But you gotta match your actions to your ambitions. You gotta keep going. If you wanna be the greatest preacher on the planet, you gotta make more content. One, to practice, right? If you're a thought leader, if you're an expert, if what you are creating comes from here, and you just speak it out, you need to be making a video every day. Every day. If you can freestyle as an artist, as a rapper, you should be making a video every single day. Now, if your videos require some massive setup, not because it's about the quality of your thought, but it's about fancy stunts or something that requires a lot more, fine. But if it's thought leadership, if it's content that's just coming out of your head, right? The quality of your ideas, every single day. Once you get better, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. It took me 350 videos until I wasn't completely embarrassed by my own content, right? I couldn't watch it back because I was too embarrassed. But oh, so bad. Now as I watch my videos, it's funny, whenever Nina comes in and she's seeing me watch my videos, I always have this big grin on my face, like I'm cheering myself on, like yeah, that's really good. And there's definitely still tons of room to improve, but it took me 350 videos before I wasn't completely embarrassed. And now I'm 6,000 or something videos in. It's hard to keep track. Your actions have to map to your ambitions. So if that's you, if you've got ideas, you've got knowledge, stop coming up with excuses and make the content, film it and post today and again tomorrow and again the next day and again the next day. And when you're creating so much content, one, again, you're getting better because the quantity leads to the quality, but two, you get less attached to one video having to be the thing. So often you make one piece of content, one painting, one song, one video, you make it, and then that has to be the thing. You're getting feedback and you're destroyed if it doesn't take off. If this video doesn't take off, great. Next, right? Next. Keep going, keep creating. You need momentum. So your actions have to map to your ambitions, right? Whatever idea you have in your head, you want to be the next Oprah of whatever industry, great. Let's see it. Let's see it in the work. Let's see it in the energy. Let's see it in the output that you are creating every single day. Now I have a 3-step process that I think will help. Let's dive in. Step number 1 is make sure your actions map to your ambitions. So look at your calendar, open up your calendar, see what you're doing for the next week. What are you doing for the next week, right? Success is habits. So you have these big ambitions, you have these lofty goals, these dreams, amazing, I want you to accomplish them. Show me in your calendar where you are spending time to actually make that happen. Because a dream alone is not enough. It can be super exciting as an entrepreneur to dream, to sit there like, man, I'm gonna create this. And we get lost in our head of all the amazing things you can do. Nothing counts until you actually get out and start executing. I've had people who came to my workshops when I was on tour earlier this year who've been sitting on a dream for a decade plus. And they're still tinkering, they're still playing with it, and it's exciting while it's still in your head. It doesn't count until you get out and start executing. And so I want to have 10 million subscribers on YouTube as my next goal. Awesome. What am I doing? I'm making videos every week, multiple times for I don't know how many channels anymore, right? Thousands of videos. We've made videos every single day for at least 5 or 6 years, at least, usually multiple videos, but we haven't missed a day in at least 5 or 6 years. And that's where the growth comes from. And it's not that I'm superhuman, right? You can do the exact same thing. Just make sure your actions map to your ambitions. You say you want this, then you have to block it off in your calendar, and you have to make sure that you are spending time pursuing your goals every single week. Step number 2 is get a 254. So I have a 254 series. It's a free video series. We'll link it up down below. I've already called it out actually earlier on in this video, where every day for 254 days, I send you an unlisted video by email, private, just for you, on a certain topic. So it could be on self-love, could be on confidence, could be on motivation, could be for writers, could be for women, could be on my Black Excellence series. There's lots of different 254s. The idea here is it takes up to 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. So if you want to change a habit, you want to change your mindset, you want to change your way of thinking, you want to be more motivated, most people don't give it enough time. It takes as long as 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. The average is 66 days. The best case scenario is 18 days of consecutive action. So if you're trying something for 2 weeks, it's not enough time. Even in the best case scenario, it's not enough time to build a habit. And so whatever it is that you want to build, surround yourself with it. For 254 days, create your own 254 series. So if that's listening to Dan Pena, great. If that's watching my videos, great. If that's listening to a podcast, a different YouTube channel, reading a book, great. Like whoever embodies the thing that you want to own, that you want to be a part of, that you want to jump in levels to, you're here, you want to jump here. Who's playing here and doing it consistently, and then inject a piece of them into your morning routine every day, and they will pull you up. Even if you never meet Dan Pena, even if you never meet me, if you are consuming the content every day, we will pull you up. We will pull you up to the next level. It's impossible. It's not possible to watch a video from me or watch a video from Dan Pena or watch a video from whoever it is that you aspire to be like. It's impossible to watch for 254 days and pay attention, not while you're doing the dishes or something else, and pay attention and not be pulled to another level. The problem is people aren't consistent enough. So create your own 254. And step number 3 is sleep. This is kind of a weird one, but I felt like I had to say it for this video. A lot of people default to saying, I need to wake up an hour early. I need to wake up at 5 a.m. I need to go to sleep and just wake up earlier. And that can definitely work. It can be a productivity hack, but I think before worrying about giving up on sleep, there are a lot of people who don't get enough sleep, and as a result, you're not productive. Before giving up on sleep, I would say make sure that the 16 hours that you are awake are actually meaningful. Right? If you're gonna sleep for 8 hours, right? Most of you probably aren't even there, but let's say you're gonna sleep for 8 hours, great. That gives you 16 hours to be productive during the day. If you're messing around for the 16 hours, going to 17 hours will not make you more productive. You're just gonna have less sleep, be more sleep deprived, and not actually get the work done you need to. So before giving up on sleep, I would highly recommend that you audit your schedule and ask yourself, what am I doing during the 16 hours that I am awake, and how can I maximize that time to actually be productive and move my goals forward? And if you still get down to no, my 16 hours are fully optimized and I need to cut into my sleep, and that makes sense for you, awesome, go do it. But I wouldn't do that as your first default step, which is a big mistake I think a lot of entrepreneurs make.
Rule number 4, ignore what others think.
If you live your life based off the opinions of other people, you will never do anything great. Take a look at who you're worried about. People who are not happy with their life, people who never went and took their shot, people who spend their life complaining instead of trying to change something. Is that who you want to be so worried about, what they think about your decisions? If anything, you want to do the exact opposite of what they're telling you to do. You don't want their life, so stop living your life by their rules. So I had an amazing one-on-one with an entrepreneur yesterday at my Q&A session here in Toronto that I do weekly, and I feel for her. She's such a talented, amazing, gifted entrepreneur. And we talked about your purpose coming from your pain. And she went through some massive pain that guided her to this success right now and on her path to personal development. But she's afraid to share what happened. And she said, maybe in a year or two, like give me a year to work on it and maybe I'll share it. Because she's afraid of what people will think. She's afraid that if it doesn't work out, that she may not be able to get another job. She's afraid of all these things that people might say about her if they found out the truth. Problem is, that's your path. I don't care about where you're at right now. I need to know where you've come from. I need to know that you look like me. I need to know that your story is like mine. And so by living in the shadows and being afraid to tell the truth, what you're doing is 1, not letting people connect to you as a real person, right? This fake, perfect version of you isn't something that people can connect to. 2, you make it so that whatever you went through, you're telling yourself that it's shameful, and you're telling other people that it's shameful too. But if you come out and talk about what happened, then the people who feel ashamed about it, they now can come out and say, I'm not the only one. This happens to other people too. I'm a little bit more normal. And 3, if you want to build a business, if you want to create a YouTube channel, if you want to have a podcast, you want to be an author, you want to write a book, that's the thing that's going to actually help take you off. That's the thing. There was a great video that I told her about a woman who gained 70 pounds from having a child. So she's pregnant, she gained 70 pounds, and she had a 10-pound baby, and now she had 60 pounds of extra fat on her, right? 60 pounds. So that's a lot. And so she's trying to lose it, and she's working out, and she's eating healthy, and she finally gets down to having 6-pack abs and looking great. And then somebody noticed that when she bent over, that they could see the flaps of skin. When she stood up, it was all 6-pack, but when she bent over, there was flaps of skin. And what most people would have done is deleted that video, pretend like it didn't exist, not talk about that comments, right? Only show the perfect version. Look how much weight I lost. But she did something different. Instead, she said, yeah, that's my body now. That's what happens when you gain 70 pounds in pregnancy and pump out a 10-pound baby. And that became a rallying cry. That one moment of vulnerability, of saying, hey, I'm still not perfect. Like, look at this saggy skin that I still have. That's what brought people to her. Now she's not just another mom who lost weight and did this workout plan and meal plan, right? That connection was real. And now she's built $1 million plus business from selling e-courses and her recipes and everything else that she goes through. That's the thing. This is your competitive advantage. Your purpose, your pain, your story is your competitive advantage. I do not want to learn from you until I know that you've been through what I'm going through. I can't relate to that story, right? I can't tell that story. I can't tell a mom who gained 70 pounds how to lose weight. That's not my story. I can't relate to it. But helping entrepreneurs, I can, because I struggled and I suffered and I was making $300 a month and I was eating the same bean salad lunch every day and I celebrated with only McDonald's French fries because I couldn't afford to buy it. All of it. I struggle with fear and embarrassment and shame. All of it. I know what it's like. I've been through that. And why I do what I do now is because I want to try to make the path a little bit easier for the next generation of entrepreneurs, for you. I want you to feel like you're not alone. I want you to feel like there's a place you can come to with a beautiful community, a Believe Nation, where we're supporting each other. And there's content every single day across multiple channels that you can go and digest and dive into and hopefully make your path just a little bit easier. Because I wish I had this when I was getting started, when I was a 19-year-old entrepreneur who was insecure and ashamed and embarrassed and not willing to talk to anybody about the problems I was going through. Right? That's the thing that will connect people to you. But if you're so afraid of what people's judgments are going to be, you're never going to get started. I believe humans are built to serve. You're built to serve. You want to help other people. It's hardwired into us. Studies show that the impact of serving other people has the same effect on your brain as food and sex. It's hardwired into you. You want to help other people. And at the same time, you're afraid of judgment. So how do you help other people if you're also afraid of judgment? It's having your foot on the gas and a brake at the same time. You know you're capable of more, but then you're just standing on the same spot. It's the worst. And so you have to let go of the opinions of other people. Some people may not like what you're doing. That's okay. That can't prevent you from service. That can't prevent you from fulfilling your mission. That can't prevent you from living the life you want, because you're going to be 95 years old, looking back on your life and regretting it, knowing you're capable of more, but never taking action. So how do you better deal with criticism? I'm going to give you a 3-step process. Step number 1 is have empathy. Have empathy. If you believe like I believe that humans are built to serve, right? We're built to serve. Then if somebody is being critical and negative when they are built to serve, how bad does their life have to be that is forcing them to act this way? How bad does somebody's life have to be to come to your YouTube video and leave a nasty comment, or to tell you to your face that you suck and your idea is never going to work? How bad does their life have to be? So have some empathy. Like, their life sucks. And they're lashing out at not just you, everybody around them. So have empathy. When you have empathy, it removes the sting out of the words. Right now, it doesn't touch you as much because, if anything, you feel sorry for that person. You don't have to say, hey, I feel so sorry for you. You don't need to go and make it worse or have it go on an ego trip. But just know inside, have empathy, feel sorry for them, and not let it hit you as hard when they're giving you some criticism about your idea or you. Number 2 is look for a gem. A lot of times in the criticism, there's actually something you can learn from. A lot of times when somebody criticizes their idea or leaves a nasty comment on YouTube, you might just write it off of that person's being a hater. Maybe they are, but there might be a kernel of truth. There might be some gem in there that you can use. I think a lot of people are too sensitive. I think if you can only take feedback when somebody sugarcoats it and packages it nicely and say, I love you, I love your channel, I love everything you're doing, I love all your ideas, but there's one little tiny thing that I think if you fix would really help. If that's the only way you can take feedback, you're gonna lose. You're gonna get nasty comments, and some of them are just pure haters and it's their own problem. But sometimes buried within that nasty comment is actually a kernel of truth. There's a gem in there for you. And so if you can remove the sting, right? Have empathy, remove the sting, then look at the comment and see, is there anything from this comment? Is there anything in this critique that I can actually learn to make my idea or my concept better? Look for the gem. And then number 3 is addressed to those who are dealing with their parents who might be your biggest critic. Understand that your parents are pilgrims. Your parents are pilgrims. Your parents come from a different era. If you're 20 years old right now, as an example, the opportunities available to you using this are things that your parents at 20 years old can't understand. The opportunities available to you right now are insane compared to what your parents had when they're at your same age. And so when they're saying, go get a safe job, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, go be an accountant, go do something you can work at some job forever. That's actually their version of love for you, right? That's empathy. Empathy, step into their shoes. They love you. Chances are your parents love you. I hope. But chances are they do. And so they're trying to give you advice that they would have given themselves X number of years ago back when they were your age. They just don't understand what's available right now. A lot of times, a lot of the people who are critiquing you, criticizing you, it may be out of love. They just don't understand the path that you see. They don't understand the world that we're living in right now. They don't understand everything that can be created. And so have that empathy for them. Understand that that's where they're coming from. They love you. And again, removes the sting out of the words. And then you can see, how do you want to act? How do you want to react to these people around you that would make you feel proud? Whatever that is in your head, then go and do it.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, study successful people.
The fastest way to achieve your goals is to model the people who've already achieved the same goals that you have. Model success. Success leaves clues, the famous expression. And it's true. People have already figured out the thing that you are struggling to figure out. And the more you are stuck trying to come up with every idea yourself, the harder you're making it on yourself. And this is one of the 2 fundamental lessons that I have learned in my life that has saved my life and my business. My first company, I learned this lesson first when I was 20 years old out of desperation, where I was making no money and struggling, and I quit on my business partner. I quit. I can't keep going. I quit. And I modeled Bill Gates. I just asked myself, who has done this before? Modeled Bill Gates, put it to work, had some success. I've told the story many times, but it's important because that was the thing that saved me. That's what saved my company. In modeling Bill Gates and how he started Microsoft, that's what saved my business and allowed me to keep going. And I'm now here. If I didn't do that, I'd probably have some job that I'm not happy with. 20 years later, still stuck in the same job that I'm not happy with. And that idea came to me at a moment of desperation. It's not even the smartest idea, right? I mean, I wasn't into personal development. I wasn't reading books. I didn't know anything. And I wish I had somebody guide me or mentor me. And it's a very basic idea, model success. I wish I'd watched videos like this. I wish they were available when I was 19, 20 years old. It really just came out of a moment of desperation where I'm at my parents' home, crying my face off because I just quit on this business that I cared about, and I didn't want to fail, but I felt there was no option. I just felt overwhelmed, frustrated. It just was not working out, and everything felt lost. And it was only in that absolute moment of crisis that I thought maybe somebody else has done this before. Where up until that point, I felt like I had to come up with every idea myself. Like, oh, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we could try this. And nothing seemed to be working. And it wasn't until I asked that question that then I found Bill Gates and how he started Microsoft. And that's what started turning the company around. Whatever problem you're facing right now, it's been addressed many, 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 many times by many, 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 many successful people. Your job becomes to find out who they are and to go back and study how they solve that problem. And it's really important to figure out how they solve the exact problem that you're struggling with right now. So what I told myself when I was looking at Bill Gates was, I don't care how Bill Gates makes an extra $1 million right now. How did he get started? How did he go from 0 to 1? What was the thing that that built his company up. And for all of these people, the bigger they are, the easier it is to research their story. Bill Gates only came to mind because I had a software company and I just said, who's built a software company? It was not even that structured or thought out or in depth or in detail. He was the first guy that I thought of that had a software company. Bill Gates, Microsoft. How'd he do it? That was it. And in looking at his story, I found out that Microsoft built their business through partnerships. And their big deal came when they made a partnership with IBM. And IBM at the time was the biggest computer manufacturer on the planet. So the deal was every IBM that was shipped, every computer that was shipped from the biggest computer manufacturer in the world had Microsoft software on it. It was a huge deal. That blew up the company. And that was pretty easy to find, right? The transitional moment in the company. It's like, wow, okay, partnerships, that's interesting. I maybe can do that. But Microsoft was already a $7 million company when they made that deal. Now, $7 million was nothing compared to what they would go on to be, right? Billions and billions of dollars. But it was $7 million was still more than what I had, right? $7 million felt like a giant company compared to me making $300 a month, right? So the next layer is to dig a little deeper. Not just their big break, which is important, but how did they get started? Like, how did they get to the big break is really valuable. It's really helpful to figure out. And again, the bigger the person is that you're modeling, the easier it is to find the content. You just might have to dig. You might have to go read biographies, read articles, read interviews, watch videos to figure out those early parts. Not just their upbringing, but what were the things that they did that led to the big breakthrough, not just what the big breakthrough was. Big breakthrough is super important, but the steps that led to the big breakthrough, even more important if you're at the beginning getting started. So Microsoft big breakthrough was the IBM deal. They're already $7 million company. How did they get to become a $7 million company? That was the $1 million question, maybe the $7 million question. And it was still through partnerships. So what Microsoft did was they had software and they looked at any hardware that existed that needed software for it, and they would go and pitch their software. Their first deal was with the MITS Altair, and the MITS Altair was a piece of hardware, and it was featured on the cover of their magazine. That was the big magazine for the computer industry at the time, and they needed software. And Bill Gates called them up with his partner Paul Allen and said, "Hey, we've got software for the MITS Altair that you can use that will make it a lot more valuable to people." And they didn't even have it built yet. On the plane ride over to go meet the company, Bill Gates was finishing up the code to go program, and they hoped that it would work, and luckily it did when they had the meeting. So I don't necessarily like that part of lying that you've got something, but it's interesting to know how he did it. The boldness, the willingness to reach out and say, "Hey, I've got something that can help you," were things that I really struggled with as a 19-year-old entrepreneur, believing that what I had was great and that I could really solve big problems. Where Bill Gates was saying, "Yeah, we got this," even though he didn't have it yet, and he wrote it on the plane on the way over, right? But it was still through partnerships. And anytime Microsoft was entering something new, they found partnerships. And so I applied that strategy to me. And I started looking for who can we partner with? Not like a business partner where they own a piece of our company, but who can we partner with that it's a distribution deal? And the first company that I made a deal with was out of the UK, and we had a arrangement for them to represent us in the UK and a couple of the markets in Europe where they would be distributing our product, and we made an exclusive deal so that anytime we got a lead from those markets, it would go to them and they would be doing their own marketing promotion as well. And in exchange for that exclusive partnership, they would pay us $13,500 up front. And I remember I was so scared to ask for that. It felt like a giant number. What if they said no, this big potential deal? And they said yes. They said yes, and we had money in our bank account for the first time, which was wild and crazy. And that was a fantastic deal for us. And more important is it gave us hope, which is mega important. It gave us momentum, which is mega important. And it gave us a model to keep following. And so what I ended up doing afterwards was, let's go get more partnership deals. Let's go get more partnership deals. And the people who ended up buying us was basically a partnership deal. So instead of partnering with our company, they just bought the whole business. And that's how we exited. All because of modeling Bill Gates when I quit on my company. So whatever problem you're facing, personal or business, people have solved it. Humans have been around for a long time. Somebody has solved this problem. You do not have to be a genius and come up with every new idea yourself. Can your creativity and love and panache help? Yes, of course. But you don't have to have the seed for every great idea. And chances are, the problem that you're facing right now, there's an answer 10 minutes away from you. From a YouTube video that's online, from a book, from a podcast, from an interview, there's an answer out there for you. And if you just default to saying, I'm going to model success, I'm going to find the people who've done this, and exactly how they solve that specific problem that you're facing right now, not how they're living their life right now, but how did they get over the hurdle that you're facing. When you can dig deep and find those answers, and again, the bigger the person is, the more accessible the content is. If you want to learn about Bill Gates' early life, or Steve Jobs' early life, or Oprah Winfrey's early life, or whoever it is, it's accessible, it's there, you can find this stuff. And it gives you the hope that it's possible for you, and it gives you the specific strategies that you can use to apply to your life right now so you can start seeing results. Success leaves clues. Whatever problem you've got, go model success.
Most people aren't happy in life because they're living somebody else's truth. You're not living your truth, you're living somebody else's version of it. Your parents, your family, your culture, your society, you're living somebody else's version of it. And so you're never happy because you never explored it. You never picked at it. You never found out what you could be. And you settled for something less than what you're capable of. You know you're capable of more. You may not know what the thing is that you should be doing, but you know it's not this thing right in front of you. I can't tell you how many people I've met on this tour who have that story to share. I had a woman whose father told her that women should not be doing any kind of entrepreneurial ventures, that women are meant to be teachers. And so she spent 15 years being a teacher before having the courage to jump off and start her own business. And now she has a multi-million-dollar construction business. I had a girl come up in Albuquerque, where I am right now, who studied for years to be an accountant. Why? Because her mom was an accountant. And so her mom made her go study to become an accountant. And she didn't know what she wanted to do. So she said, okay, great. Yeah, I'll be an accountant. She just graduated and realized, I don't want to be an accountant. This isn't for me. It's easy. It's the path that my parents took. Like, it's great for me to get into it. I can get easy money. You know, my mom said, I'll like it when the money starts coming in, but money's coming in and I don't like it. I want to do something else. I know I'm meant for something greater. And so she told her mom, I don't want to do this. I want to learn how to be a management consultant, and I'm going to go back to school. That takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of courage. Most people do not have that courage. Most people do not have the courage to stand up to their parents and say, I don't want this life. It doesn't mean you have to hate them. You have to attack them. You have to tell them they're wrong. This is for you. You don't want that life. Most people never have that courage. And the story that comes to mind for me is Actio Morita. And use this as motivation, as wisdom. If you are trying to battle your parents or your culture, your friends or your society, remember Actio Morita. He started Sony. Now he came from 11 or 12 generations of sake brewers, Japanese background. The Japanese culture is super family oriented, and the oldest always takes over the family business. The oldest has to follow in line with what the family was doing. And so he was expected to take over the sake business. And it's not just one generation. You're talking 11 or 12 generations in a Japanese society. And he said, I don't want to do this. I want to start my own business, a technology company, at a time when Japan was known for super low quality products. This is the man who put Japan on the map for high quality products. That products coming out of Japan meant something, was a stamp of quality because of Actio Morita. And he went on to build one of the most successful brands in the world, Sony. But it starts with having the courage to say, that's not my life, that's not my truth, that's your truth. And it's out of love. Your parents love you, your friends love you, your society, your community, they love you. It's not out of hate. It's very few parents who say, do this because you're gonna suffer. You know, it's out of love. They just have a different version of it. Their world is different. They don't understand the world that you're growing up in. And so you have to have the courage to go off and start your truth. The challenging part, though, is it's uncertain. You don't know what it looks like. You haven't started. And so here's what I call the 2% difference. This is the secret to moving forward. As soon as you get an idea, As soon as you get an idea for something, trust that idea. Trust that idea that it's actually the right thing for you. Because what we typically do, you get an idea and then your brain talks you down from doing it. Your brain says, well, you're not talented enough, you haven't gone to school, you don't have the money, you don't have the resources. It talks you down from doing that big crazy thing. I believe that idea came to you for a reason and you need to trust it and go take action on it. Even though it doesn't make sense. You're trying to solve a matter of the heart with your head. You can't logically think your way through how you're going to feel about something. You can't. You can't think your way through if you're going to like sushi or not. You can't think your way through if you're going to love somebody or not. You can't. Similarly, in finding your truth, finding your passion, finding your calling, you cannot think your way through it. You have to feel it. And so the starting point is going off and doing it. And as soon as you get that idea, while you're feeling bold, while you're feeling inspired, to go off and take some kind of action. I call it the 2% difference. Don't worry about trying to get to 100%. Don't worry about planning and strategizing and figuring it out and thinking. That's what most of us do. You get an idea, you think, you start thinking, right? You plan. How do I get to that 100%? No. You've lost because you're going to wake up tomorrow a different person, because you're going to go home today, plan, and wake up tomorrow a different person and then not take action because you're scared. Because your brain will start talking you down from that crazy big idea. Your brain will talk you down from going off and living your truth. That's what's going to happen. That's what always happens. And so while you're feeling the energy and the momentum, you got to take some action. Instead of planning how to get to 100% of the way, you take action immediately on getting 2% of the way. 2%, the 2% difference. Go from 0 to 2%. If you can't take immediate momentum to getting 2% of the way, you will never get to 100%. You have an idea to make a YouTube channel. Great, go make a video right now, today. ASAP, the 2% difference. Make your first video right now with your cell phone. What most people will do is start researching, right? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to wear? What's my hair going to look like? What camera do I need to get? What phone do I need to get, right? What's my lighting going to be? What microphone? Think, and then never do. Because you're a perfectionist. You're going to perfect your way out of ever living your truth. The beginning is messy. It's supposed to be messy. Go off and get your 2% difference towards finding and living your truth. Quick example, my story. I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico right now. I was walking down a beautiful summer day last year, and I decided that I was going to take Nina to every city in North America with 1 million plus people. Every city in North America, 1 million plus people. That was my decision. Great. What's my first step? Action. The 2% difference. So it's not, here's what most people do. It's not go home and research how many cities there are. It's not go home and make a plan for how we're going to do this. There's lots of reasons why it's not going to work. Nina still had a full-time job. I had no idea how many cities there were. I had no idea what the next step was going to be. Just do something. Immediate action. And so I thought right away, 5 seconds later, here's my goal. Great. 5 seconds later, this weekend, let's hit one city. Boston. Nina had never been to Boston, so I thought Boston was the closest city to Toronto. It wasn't. Pittsburgh actually was. And on my tour, the people in Pittsburgh told me, they let me know that Pittsburgh is closer. But it doesn't matter. This weekend, we're going to go to Boston. It was a Wednesday that I decided, and on Friday night, we were leaving for Boston. Boom, I hit 2%. Just 50 cities. We're going to hit one this weekend. We're going to get 2% of the way done. On the way back from Boston, we decided to do this tour that I'm on right now. And now we're going to hit 50% of the cities on my list. Momentum. That's the thing that's missing, momentum, because you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to fully understand your truth, but you can't think your way through your truth. You have to experience it and feel it. And the starting point is a 2% difference. So take whatever idea that you have and train yourself. I want to burn this into your nervous system. This is one of the most important things you can do of all time. As soon as you get an idea, action, idea, action, idea, action. The more you can shortcut that window, instead of taking a week to take action or a day to take action, immediate, 5 seconds, idea, boom, some kind of 2% action, and expect it not to be perfect, expect it not to be the best plan. My plan was wrong, right? Pittsburgh was closer. In my head, I thought it was Boston. We went down the wrong path, but the momentum is what matters. And now we're 50% of the way. And now I'm going to close that gap and get the rest of it. The 2% difference. Go find your truth.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
If you want to learn how to get ultimate freedom, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Practice gives you ultimate freedom. The more you practice, the better you get at something, the more skilled you are at it, the more information you have, the more it actually allows you to play more, have more fun, be more flexible, and have